Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We are going to be talking about Lord of the Rings Online. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and just the things that I enjoy, things that I don't enjoy about the game. And we're just going to overall just be giving kind of as much of an unbiased review as possible. I've been diving into Lord of the Rings Online and I have been absolutely loving it. To kind of give that TLDR, the summary of this, I love it. I think it's super fun. It is a great MMO and I'm excited to continue to be diving into it. But there are a few things that I do want to be breaking down and talking about, both kind of as a good side and as a bad side to the game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dive into it. The first thing that I am going to be talking about is going to be character creation. The character creation for the game is really simple. It's fun. It's interesting. There's a ton of different options for races and classes and things that you can play. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail over what classes are available and different things like that, because then we're just going to be here forever, and I really just don't want to do that. But what I do want to talk about is it's fun. There's a ton of different options. Even though Lord of the Rings has always been kind of limited to your dwarf, elf, hobbit, and man, there are so many different ways that you can customize them. You can make your dwarf from Erebor. You can make your dwarf from the Blue Mountains. If you have an elf, you can make them from Lindon. You can make them from Rivendell. You can make them from Lothlorien. If you're a man, you can go from Bree, Rohan, Gondor. Ton of different options for the ways that you can customize the characters, and that to me just makes it really, really fun. I do have one thing that I want to talk about as a bit of a nitpick for the game, and that is when it comes to the game, my big nitpick on character creation is there are certain class and race combinations that you cannot do, and to me, I don't like that. I don't like that if I wanted to play a dwarf burglar, I don't have that option available. I want to be able to play as a dwarf burglar, being able to do burglar things and looking like a dwarf, but unfortunately Lord of the Rings Online does not allow you to do that. However, the rest of character creation still great. The next thing I want to talk about is the leveling progression. You're going to be seeing me do a ton of leveling streams because I'm only level 25 right now. So it's going to take me a long time to get to the max level for a free-to-play character, which is about 90. I don't know quite yet if I'm going to be playing a VIP for it. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Kind of depends on how I'm feeling as we get later on. But I also might be diving into Ashes of Creation, so that might be a whole other thing. Anyways, continuing to talk about Lord of the Rings Online. The leveling process is a little bit slower than what I'm used to. My big comparison for other games is Star Wars The Old Republic, where the leveling process is super fast. You can get to level 80 in not a ton of time, which is the current max level. For Lord of the Rings Online, however, that is a very different situation. So currently I'm averaging around like a level an hour, which is very different than what I'm used to. And that's even after doing a ton of quests. The leveling process is a lot slower, which is not a bad thing. That's where I'm going to continue to kind of talk about this. Where I love the leveling process. The quests are super fun. They're engaging. They're not just the same quest over and over again. They have a ton of different ways that they're varied. The areas of which you can run around to level are fun. We'll dive into that a little bit later. But overall, the leveling process has been fun. I've been having a ton of fun with it. The combat is interesting, and that has made the leveling process a lot more fun, which I do really, really enjoy. So that is a huge, huge, huge benefit to Lord of the Rings Online as a game. I think it is super fun. The leveling process is great. And it doesn't, even if it does take you a while to level up, you don't feel like you're dragging on. You get that level up feeling becomes a lot better because it takes a little bit longer. Now, it doesn't take so long that it just absolutely drags on, but it is fun and it's enjoyable. It is a great time. So leveling, great. Love it. Now, the next thing I do want to talk about, and this is something that I'm going to be as the biggest area of nitpicking and sort of my biggest critiques, and that is going to be the graphics and the UI. Graphics, I mean, yes, this MMO is almost 20 years old, if not 20 years old. I don't know what the exact thing. I just know the first expansion came out in 2008. I don't know when the exact game release date, but either way, Lord of the Rings Online has been around for a long time, and it still looks like it's been around for a long time. Graphics have not had any major updates. The UI has not had any major updates. There's not a ton of areas for customization for the UI, which is really, really unfortunate. But, I mean, the game's still fun. It's not like a major critique, but if this were like, I talk about it a lot in my Star Wars The Old Republic video. The UI for Star Wars The Old Republic is so easy to understand that if somebody has never played an MMO before, they can hop into Star Wars The Old Republic and they can very much enjoy, they can understand the UI, enjoy and understand what they're looking at. When you're playing Lord of the Rings Online, that's not always the case. You can jump in, the UI is kind of difficult to understand. I only understand it because I've watched a lot of World of Warcraft streamers, I've played a bunch of Star Wars The Old Republic, so I was ready to understand how the UI worked, and even still, there were a lot of areas where I was not ready to, where I did not understand the UI. So it took me a little bit longer to figure out, and that is an area of critique. I need to be able to figure out the UI, and so that was a huge critique area for me, but that's okay. It was how it is how it is, and you just kind of move on and live with it. And the same way, the graphics, they could use a bit of an update. The game doesn't look bad, do not get me wrong. I don't want to sit here and say the game looks bad, the game is bad, blah, 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 blah. That's not the case. It just could use a bit of an update. The map could look a little bit more interactive, could look a little bit better to make it easier to understand where you are, where your quests are, how that all works. That could look a little bit better. It's not a complete ruiner of the game, but it's not great. So that's my main critique on that one. And that is kind of where I'm just going to let that. I don't want to just completely talk about how the different things that I don't like. Because overall, this game is great. And the final thing I do want to talk about, and it's something that is a big, big thing that I really, 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 really love about this game. And that is the Tolkien feel. This game is massive. And it's how it should be. It is an MMO in Tolkien's world. You are in Middle-earth, moving around Middle-earth, doing quests in Middle-earth. I wanted it to feel like I was in the greatest fantasy setting of all time. And that is what it gave me. In the 30 hours that I have played it, I have been in the Shire and I have been in the Breeland area, and that's been about it. I've not been in too many other areas of the game, which is great. That's exactly what I want. I'm a new character. I'm new in my adventure. I want to be in these new areas. I want to be in these areas that are meant to, not these, I don't want to wander into Mordor at level 20. That's not what I want. And I want to be able to feel like I'm traveling around this grand world that Tolkien has designed and now Standing Stone Games has gone and created into a game. Now, there are a ton of other things that I am still learning about the game, a ton of other things that I'm going to be talking about, so I think I am going to make probably a secondary review as I get further on, learn more about things like crafting and different things like that, but overall, I've been having a wonderful experience with the game, and I highly recommend that if you're an MMO fan to check out Lord of the Rings Online right now. That might change as I get later on, but for now, I love the game. It's super fun. Highly recommend you play it. It's on Steam. You can download it as well on lotro.com. But that's going to be where I end off this sort of brief little review about the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm planning on streaming a lot more LOTRO content, so if you want to watch more Lord of the Rings Online, make sure you guys follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you guys again. You are loved, you are valued, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we will see you next time right back here. Goodbye.